are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire youth wrestling community. And I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
Together we are
Road
Break. How's every single one of you? It is Tuesday morning, so it is time to talk about Monday Night Raw, the worst show on TV, on like wrestling and any other topic, any other theme. The show is absolutely terrible. But it's time to talk about it. We're gonna be like dissecting everything that happened, and the road for Money in the Bank keeps going on, but it's a very rocky one.
Yeah, I also want to thank you. This is the second week in a row that you're here, doing Monday Night Raw. So it was so nice. He had to do it twice. Here he is. And, they're really giving, awful shows, I almost want to say even worse since you joined. So maybe you should be.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm leaving,
No, but I think it's just going to keep getting worse. Like you said, this is the worst show. They're trying to build to Money in the Bank, but none of the matches they're not fresh, or they're just matches we don't care about. And especially the way that they've been booking the entrants or participants for Money in the Bank is not very good, not very creative. But we should be used to bad creative when it comes to WWE.
WWE, is very is usual for them. It's very known of them that like when they are like on some type of pilot mode. Why pilot mode now? It's because like they're about to leave the Thunderdome. Next week is going to be taped. It's going to be taped because then in 2 weeks we're going to have live crowds. So it's how it is. It's like just put whatever they're going to watch anyway. Robert's going to review anyway. So for that reason, it doesn't really matter. But thank you so very much, family, for every single thing that you do for us: subscriptions, comments, all the likes on Facebook and all the social media. Thank you one more time for supporting us in this video for the AEW Dynamite review. Another show that is not as great as it could be, because they have the talent, they have all the tools, but do they do it? Do they execute it to the best of their ability? No. So there you go. Thank you for covering and helping us out with that. Kenny Omega is still, the champion, but Jungle Boy is actually the winner because he's dating Anna Jay.
Yeah, and then normally I don't like anything Omega's been saying recently, but I do like when he commented on that picture. He's just like, "Oh, so what? You're gonna be like, oh, this is worth more than any title belt to me."
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I don't know. Do you see what he has a handful of in that picture? I think he'd rather have that than the title. But hey, Anna Jay's better than anything we see on that show. So, and it's returning to Wednesday, so at least we can have our weekend free.
Exactly, the weekend will be a lot better. So, Jean-Paul, the show starts with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. The thing is, Randy Orton missed the shows. He wasn't on Monday Night Raw. The real reason is not really revealed yet. They just know that he wasn't going to make it, so they had to incorporate this into the storyline, and they said that they're going to have a battle royal just to determine the number with the third member on that triple threat to qualify for Money in the Bank. We get to see our boy Matt Riddle, and in really good friend fashion. I know that Jean Paul will do this for me, but he said, I'll fight for Juan, legit. So he said, I want to fight for Randy. I'm going to be a participant there, and they have the battle royal. What did you think? Matt Riddle just trying to be a good friend of Randy Orton.
Yeah, and of course he's just like, oh yeah, Randy wrote this note. Don't you see he drew a little viper at the end? And they're like, Riddle, they're like, every other word in this is bro. Clearly you wrote it. Why are you being bullshit? He's like, no, it was Randy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, you can go into this battle royal, and, if you win it, then you can be in that match. We're not just going to put you in it. So we get the battle royal, and you see all the losers out there. Yeah. There was a couple of guys. Okay, Jeff Hardy, legit. Garza. I'm sorry, at this current stage of his career, he's a loser too. It's all these. You see a lot of, like I said, loser guys in this thing, and you're like, ugh. But you saw Damian Priest, you saw Jeff Hardy, you saw Matt Riddle. You're like, okay, there's some stars. You're kind of figuring out how this thing's gonna go.
We saw that Paul also. Look, I'm kind of like a feuding Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. Also,
they've been teasing that for a couple weeks, so they still kind of had that going on. But then 24/7 stuff, Tozawa and all that other garbage. But to pretty much just skip to the end where it really matters. I did like the finals. It came down to it was Jinder was in there. You saw Damian Priest, Jeff Hardy. Riddle and Cedric Alexander. Jeff Hardy was giving Twist of Fate to everybody. That looked legit. I would love to see Jeff in that match because it probably would have been the last time that we actually see Jeff in that match.
Yes.
And like you have the pictures of Omos. He took out the Viking Raiders. Obviously, keep
the
that
feud for the tag
yeah.
title keeps going on. Yes.
Yeah, but
yes.
eventually, Cedric Alexander, he eliminated Hardy. That feud's still going on. If I guess it's a feud, I don't know. And then we saw who, and then I forget who eliminated Cedric. If it was Damian Priest or whoever.
It was Damian Priest.
But then it was a lot of good back and forth with Priest and Riddle. They had a little bit of a match, maybe 3-4 minute match, just the two of them in there. But eventually, Riddle won this thing, and I was really hoping for Damian Priest because AJ, we knew wasn't going to win because he obviously has his tag title feud going on. And Drew, he can't challenge until Lashley loses the title or he moves to SmackDown. So it's like, Drew, I wouldn't have been upset to not see him in the match. It's like, give me Jeff. Give me Damian Priest. Give me somebody, to pull off the upset win, to get into the triple threat, to get into the Money in the Bank. But instead, we saw this. So at this point, we're thinking, who knows? Is Randy Orton going to be in, and he doesn't even have to do anything?
Yeah, it might be. But good match, big trigger for Damian Priest, and he's out. The one thing is No More Words is going to come back really, really soon. As soon as they have crowds, the theme for Jeff Hardy is going to come out. Maybe a little better push for him. I wanted Jeff too. Jeff deserves so much better, but one of the factors that he's actually re-signed with WWE is the return of No More Words. So they said, once they finally have the crowds, maybe a week or two, Money in the Bank is going to have the theme song back. Like you said, Riddle, the story is at least, he's a good friend. He'll do anything for Jean Paul. Robert is legit, All of that is really, really great. But like you said, in the end, where this is really building. Is at some point he's going to get pissed off and they're going to end up feuding. So that's the one thing that I don't really like. And like you said, Damian Priest right now they're starting to feel a little lost. But, really later in the show, we kind of see that maybe, just maybe he might have an opportunity just yet. So that was the beginning of the show. We got to now go to Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and of course Reginald. Shayna is going to have a match against the almost superhero Nikki Cross. So he said, hey, Alexa Bliss is the one that is messing us up. She cost us our tag titles, cost us the chance to be in Money in the Bank. Let me take care of her. So, all of that stuff. We get to see this guy that loves to beat up himself. Right? And I don't know, again, does it bother you? I know that we're not sensitive to that kind of stuff, but I feel for kids and stuff, that will be a bit, controversial, at least to say the least. But he's just, beating up himself. And we got a lengthy promo of Nikki Cross. She was just talking about she's almost a superhero. She's ready to go, positive, all of those things. But then she have the match with Shayna Baszler. What do you think about this whole match? At least Nikki gets the win. They're really pushing her. Maybe not in the way that we would want to, but she's getting a push regardless.
Yeah, well, I mean, this whole thing, with the promo, with Shayna and Nia and everything, of course, when they walked away, they were done. They're like, oh, we're going to send her and Alexa Bliss into, timeout like that stupid doll. Then you saw Bliss looking at them. And, Nikki Cross is just, she's just a pawn, not a stepping stone, but she's just a middle, just a piece to this puzzle here with this whole Alexa Bliss thing. Nikki Cross, this isn't a push for her. I mean, this is a push, but it's not going to lead anywhere. It's not going to lead to her having a title match, her winning a title. Like I said, you took Owen Hart, who was legit, and you're like, yeah, instead of being Owen Hart and being legit, you're going to be the Blue Blazer. This is essentially the same thing for Nikki. She's nowhere near as good and prestigious as Owen Hart, but you're taking a person who is just being themselves, being legit, and pretty good wrestler, and you're like, let's make you a superhero so people can laugh at you. Because that's all anybody's doing for Nikki Cross. They're just laughing at her. And to go with what you said about kids, they actually looked at the demographics and everything, and barely any kids watch Monday Night Raw. It's all adults.
No wonder. Yeah. Let's even have more racist.
Yeah, so it's so because it's mostly adults. Why do you even have this kiddie and cartoony bullshit? Oh, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That's why. But
Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That's right.
I didn't care about this. Yeah.
She took out of both Reginald and Nia Jax with a kick. Kick. Nia Jax is done. Reginald is done. She tried to hypnotize at some point, but in the end, the most effective move in the WWE right now is not even a finisher. It's nothing devastating. It's nothing that hurts. It's just a roll up. So she gets the win. Legit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Paul. Yeah. She probably, if she wins Money in the Bank, is as bad as when Otis won.
Oh no, it's. I mean, it's.
You
Yeah,
know,
I don't know. It's head. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
no,
as
because
bad. I was
remember
gonna say.
what I
I
said.
think it might be worse, but no, Otis
You
was
know,
pretty bad.
remember, like, oh, he wins it, do something with it. No, we're gonna give it to the Miz, and you know what happened. So really, really bad stuff. But you know, Nikki Cross, a lot of people are loving it. The question for you guys, to every single one of you, respond. Hey, do you like this new Nikki Cross? Do you think it's gonna go to something like meaningful, something good for her, or no? So you know, that will be the question. Let's move on to like Kofi Kingston. Like you said, this time, no bootios, no, you know, anything like funny, no pancakes, no like twerking, no, none of that. Really, really serious. He's really pissed off that like what happened to Xavier Woods in the Hell in the Cell match. We still don't even know what was the reason of the Hell in the Cell. We kind of told you, but we're still really pissed off about that. So that's how serious we are in this show. So remember, he's gonna challenge Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. But literally a really nice word of words with MVP. Maybe too long for me, but like everything, the back and forth that was said was really, really good. Is like MVP called him out on everything. I like that, you know, like you're not serious, you just throw like the bootios, like the pancakes, you just like to dance, and you know that your title reign was really kind of like a joke, and you know, like and ever since that, you've just been like, you know, in the title and the tag team titles, you know, like always just being funny and all of that. But Kofi was really, really serious this time.
Yeah, and then this was good. And Kofi even said to him, he's just like, "Well, I was champion for but I forget
Six
how
months.
many. Yeah,
Six
for
months.
like 6 months." And he's like, "I was on every show. I wasn't like Lashley, who he can't even make every show. It's like what the guy misses one show, and now now they have to crucify him because he missed the show." And
Now
he's
you
like,
wanna,
"Yeah,
yeah,
and
you wanna call him out just
yeah,
because
yeah,
he's not
yeah."
there.
And he's like, "Oh, I think Lashley's getting soft, blah, blah, blah. Soon he's going to look like you, MVP, all washed up." MVP's like, "Oh, I'm washed up, huh? If my knee wasn't hurt, I would come down there and whoop your ass." And he's like, "Your knee?" He's like, "You're milking that. Your knee's been hurt for how many months? You're telling me that ain't healed, blah, blah, blah. My boy Xavier Woods is going to be back next week after he got his ass kicked." And we're also seeing him versus Lashley again for
Yeah.
whatever reason. So,
What the hell?
hopefully
Why?
hopefully they like to talk about Mortal Kombat. Hopefully Lashley rips out his spine so we never have to see him again. But that I mean this is I did like when he attacked Kofi.
Yeah.
I mean when Kofi attacked MVP because
Yeah.
hopefully that means maybe MVP is gonna come back. And not that I'm like, oh, MVP's gonna have a great run or anything, but let's see MVP beat these guys up. You can't disrespect MVP like that and not expect some repercussions. But no, this was a good, serious back and forth from the two of them. The only thing I don't get too excited about it is because as soon as this feud's over, Lashley moves on. Kofi's gonna just go back to throwing pancakes and twerking. So what's the
Yeah,
point?
it's true. It is, it's only like a few weeks for him to be serious, but like this is annoying. This is really terrible. This is why the show nobody watches, and the few that watch actually they become more like a mockery. They make fun of this crap because you're doing the same thing as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn on SmackDown? Why you have to have the same match? Like, and again, something that like we've been saying in wrestling: sell the freaking injury, sell the freaking attack, get him out of TV. And that's the one thing that like no, they even said in the reports he's going to be off TV a few weeks. He has the doo-wop. Tyler Breeze. He has to like
I mean,
conform for him.
if you're trying to sell the story of maybe because I don't think they really know what they want to do. If you want to sell the story of Big E versus Bobby Lashley, Xavier Woods done. Oh, I'm done. Oh, my back, my spine, whatever, done. Kofi Kingston goes against Lashley, gets the shit beat out of him. MVP, gets his licks in too. Oh, Kofi. Oh, I'm done. Oh, we're both done. And you have Big E win the Money in the Bank. I'm gonna cash in on Lashley. I'm going to avenge my brothers for what you did to them. You think you could beat them up? How about you try going against the guy your own
That
size?
makes the more sense. Exactly.
Then there's a story. Instead, they'd rather have it that they're all out there twerking and dancing and acting like idiots, and it's like, okay.
W. Yeah, exactly. No. And also, like out of the three, Big E has the most challenge in the world of real life, like that to beat Bobby Lashley. So this is just terrible. Awful booking, and then they wonder why nobody watches. Well, the reason is right in front of you. Let's go like to another even more crappy stuff. The Evolution. The Evolution is dead already. Okay, it's absolutely it was born dead. That's how bad it was. Nobody wants to see Eva Marie. We don't understand why Eva Marie is still signed with the WWE. Oh yeah, because the writers, the creative, don't even care about professional wrestling. That's why she's there. And then Piper Niven, you remember, we're not going to call her the other name. Paul said that he sent me a memo. Right, they're signed by everything by creative of Raw Break, everything, supervisors, everybody that is on Raw Break said don't even use that name. Okay, so Piper Niven's right there. So she said like Eva Marie that like actually if Piper made a mistake. It was a rookie mistake, and that's why she didn't give the tag. But we're gonna see this week. She asked for a rematch against Asuka and Naomi, just to like see that how the real evolution is supposed to happen. They have the match. Piper Niven is looking really strong, Paul. I like that. Like she's really looking way better than what NXT UK ever made her look.
The only thing with this is I feel like she's gonna look really strong, look really dominant, and it's either gonna be where like they have some kind of match or they do something and Eva Marie gets the win and then she gets the title shot or something, or even somehow they win the titles, maybe not the tag titles, but I don't know, something where you're going to eventually lead it where these two feud, and then Eva Marie's probably going to beat Piper Niven.
Yeah.
And then it's like, there goes all the momentum. But I mean, for right now, they're pushing her real good. I never thought, like, okay, if you would have told me, oh, Piper Niven's going to go to the main roster and she's going to look like a monster, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, yeah, she'd probably be chasing R-Truth or somebody, they're not, whatever. But no, I mean, to pin Asuka, I mean, and not even like with her finisher, just pretty much like a flying cross body. Now I know because she's bigger, they're trying to sell it. Oh, it's so devastating, all the moves that she delivers, and especially, she is very agile and athletic for her size. The big cross body, 1, 2, 3. I mean, it sucks for Asuka. There's no reason that this match should even happen, but it's like, are you going to do anything with her? See, that's would have been the thing where if they were actually in Money in the Bank, Piper Niven and Eva Marie, then it's like, okay, push them. But why you have Naomi and Asuka? Oh, they're going to be in Money in the Bank, and then they lose here, and they look like jobbers.
Yeah,
so I don't
know. And the only reason, Paul, that Asuka got the pin because everybody in social media like backfire when Piper Niven pinned Naomi the first week. Hashtags, give Naomi a chance, free Naomi, all of that, like really rad.
You want to free Naomi? Don't worry, she'll be on the next list of future endeavored. See ya, because to me, she brings nothing. I'm not saying she's not talented, but
they don't use her correctly. They don't give her a good character. That's the problem. Like you said, at the expense of Asuka, but I mean, Piper Niven is looking really great, and I agree with you. Like the only problem is like as soon as like this thing with Eva Marie is done, then she's gonna go back to being just a jobber. You know how quickly WWE can make you look really a superstar, or you can make you like a one-hit wonder. So we'll see what happens. But then when she wins, then Eva Marie actually gives herself. She calls herself. She said, "I'm the winner is Eva Marie." So like you see the tension between these two. They don't even know where this is going because like you don't really believe that they're going to push Piper Niven in a legit way. I don't really think so. There's no way. I mean, if this company wouldn't care so much about looks and all of that, I will believe, hey, they might give her a chance. They might kind of go into the level of a Becky Lynch or like a Bayley, a Sasha. Or a Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. She can be incorporated in that. Is she really there? Are they going to do it? No. There's no way. She's just not. It's not NXT UK where she actually fought for the title. No, it's never going to happen. So that's what we had right there. Again, worse. Like you said, this first 2 hours, it was absolutely terrible. It's awful television, lack of creativity, not good ideas, nothing funny, and this Morrison. Even John Morrison put in a report, Paul, my return to WWE hasn't gone as I thought. Who would have thought that like you would use John Morrison in this awful way of just being the Mrs. Lackey?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what he expected. Did he not watch WWE TV? Was the Miz like, no, it's legit, blah, blah, blah. His debut pretty much set up his entire second run in the WWE. He opens the door to Miz's locker room and is like, hey, what's going on? And they're like he's been there the whole time. You know what I mean? Like he never left WWE. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this was stupid. This is bad. The whole dripstick thing and Ricochet. And, okay, yeah, it's cool because these guys are both super athletic, but why would I want to see them fight before Money in the Bank? Save it for Money in the Bank. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then the match, don't get me wrong, match was good. Said it was athletic, the huge big, let's just skip to it. The huge big cross body, from the barricade, everything, like that. I mean, it was legit. Like I said, super athletic, these guys. But
only these two can pull these off.
But shouldn't we see these death-defying, high-flying, spectacular, replays? Shouldn't we see that all at Money in the Bank? Why are we seeing it on Monday Night Raw? This was dumb, and I didn't really care because, like, in typical WWE fashion, they just give, pretty much half the match away before the pay-per-view.
And you know what's bad also? Like, it's because they keep the Miz incorporated into this. Why can't he just have, like, a few weeks off? You don't need the Miz on Monday Night Raw.
The Miz doesn't move numbers. People don't go, "Oh, the Miz is on TV. I better watch." No, if Maurice comes out wearing, 2 bottle caps with a piece of string connected to, then people might.
And then we will watch. We will turn around. And that, exactly. I mean, I'm sorry, but the guy's defined by a hot wife. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Miz. We respect him. He's legit. But right now he's injured. Why can't he just be out of TV for a bit? If he's not going to be fighting, then we don't really need the Miz. So that's why I don't get why is there agenda to push the guy when he's injured. There's nothing you can do with the guy. Just wait, he gets better, he comes back, we'll be happy. It's all good. So let's move on to women's action. We get to see the tag champs Natalya and Tamina going alongside Charlotte, going against Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Rhea Ripley. This was just bad. This again, this feud with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte is still. I feel they're trying to sell it. Push it to our noses, push it inside. I don't really care for this, because again, Charlotte is a heel now. He's not babyface. Rhea is also more like a heel because of the stuff that she does. I don't know. I'm not really behind this, and the match was just alright. In the end, Mandy Rose can have maybe certain average performances, but in the end, big boot by Charlotte, done. Charlotte is involved, and then Charlotte's gonna win.
I really don't understand where this is going. Like you said, Rhea is a heel, but she's not really a heel, but she's not a badass babyface like Stone Cold, because there's a difference to be a badass and to be a rebel, but then there's ones that's I'm going to get myself intentionally disqualified and I'm going to use heelish tactics, and the whole Charlotte's oh, you're learning, kind of you're learning to be like me, you're learning to be a bitch, you're learning to be a heel. And, I really don't know where this feud's going. I don't care. The match they had at WrestleMania is still probably one of the best women's matches we've seen in the last, maybe 3-4 years. But
yes.
I really don't want to see this anymore. I said, if the main thing is Charlotte, give her the belt now and just move her on to something else. Let Rhea Ripley do whatever the hell else. I don't want to see these two fight anymore. It's, And
especially the pose attacks. What's the reason of you have the match? At least keep them away from each other. It's not AEW. You don't need the post attack. You don't need to one of them getting the upper hand every single week. And then isn't Tamina and Natty supposed to be the baby faces, and the two blondes are supposed to be the heels, but then the Rose and Brooke were with. Rhea Ripley.
So it's what's going on?
That's what I mean. It's who are heel, babyface, heel. Okay, Bruce. How are we doing this? Can you give me the lines? Can you define this and make it clear for everybody, because we're not really seeing it? And again, like I said, and I don't know, Rhea Ripley as champion has done a single damn thing for me. Nothing. Now, I mean, Rhea, they took everything that it was cool about her, and then just I don't know if it is the main roster syndrome that it doesn't feel great. I don't know, but especially feuding with Charlotte so early in this. It shows me that, there were never anybody else. I feel you gotta, put it with, better, different competitors. Not saying better, but, example, a Mandy Rose, and Natalya, maybe, Naomi,
I think, honestly, the problem...
that we said.
I think, honestly, the problem was, Bianca won the Royal Rumble. It was okay, legit, she earned her shot. Rhea just walks up to Asuka, I want the match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And they give it to her. Yeah. And then she's oh, now I'm legit, I'm unstoppable, and then it goes right to Charlotte. Like you said, it just wasn't booked good.
It just was, like you said, it wasn't booked to make me believe that she could have she deserved it, and and she's a babyface, because babyfaces you shouldn't go and ask for matches. You win, and even Charlotte said in the promo, we're gonna prove that you don't give respect, you earn it. So there you go. Let's talk about the guy that likes to beat up himself, and that's Riker, and then the interaction with R-Truth, and he wants the strap because he wants to get Akira Tozawa with it. A kind of weird interaction, because Riker at least is selling his character pretty good. A very weird guy, few words, just really thinking about what he's going to do to Elias. All of that. So this for me, this is when the show starts to get a little better, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's just, he's serious. He's hitting himself with a strap to prepare himself for the pain that's going to be in the strap match, or so he thinks, because I was thinking, okay, this match should be pretty decent. But, I mean, we'll talk about the match, but, I mean, it was just, it was pretty short, honestly. The match, I felt okay, not that it was going to go long or that this was going to be the main event. Obviously, we knew that was the triple threat. But I felt this thing kind of really started, it just started and then it ended.
Yeah, this big spine buster, right?
I mean, this match was it couldn't have been any longer than 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was 7.5, but I mean, real shortly, he said big spine buster, nothing with the strap. I thought he would maybe choke out Elias or something like that. No, just
He's
pinned
already
him.
10. He's going to do it.
They just pinned him solid, 1, 2, 3, done. And it's like, okay. You know what I mean? I mean, it was just like kind of flat. Now, I still think this will be more enjoyable than the South Beach strap match or whatever it is on AEW.
That's how short that match needs to be. 7 minutes, including entrances. But yeah, you said at least Riker is getting somewhere. Because from here, maybe maybe like feuding against the United States champion that we haven't seen Sheamus. Maybe like when another babyface that you have a lot, maybe Jeff Hardy. Things like that. Like there's opportunities for him. I like this, and like I said, Elias is just Elias. This guy gets paid to lose. That's his job description: losing to everybody and being interrupted by everybody. That's fine, Riker. Hey, he's trying to be the only forgotten son that is not forgettable. So there you go. Tell me a little bit about this, because we mentioned Damian Priest, in your eyes, a little lost. He should have gained that spot at Money in the Bank. So he goes to talk to Matt Riddle, and he's actually in Randy Orton mode, right? that was funny, though.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, I was looking for Riddle. I wanted to buy some new Chicken sandwiches at Burger King. He's like, maybe we can, do some juice, be legit. And then Riddle's like, and he's like, no, it actually is me. I'm Riddle. He's like, dude, I know it's you. Like, I'm not a fucking idiot. And he's just like, oh, so. I mean, what are they doing with this? I don't really know how you would set this up. Maybe I don't want to see these two guys feud. I want to see maybe Damian Priest versus Randy Orton.
That would be better.
I think that would be badass, and maybe Riddle's kind of caught in the middle of it. Riddle in the middle, you know what I mean? I don't know what you're gonna do, but I mean, you got to do something with Priest, because I mean, you had him with Bad Bunny, and then he was just, they're really pushing him, and they even said Vince McMahon, all these guys, real high on Damian Priest. They love this guy. He's great. They think he can be the next big Latino star. Like, we haven't heard that before, but see, at least with him, he speaks legit English. Garza, Andrade was awful. That's why he's not here anymore.
Go watch AEW, don't believe.
Yeah. But like, I think they're finally kind of maybe figuring something out with him. At least he's on TV. I just wish he would have won this battle royal. Like
yes, but like you said, he actually, he throw that line. He's like, you're way too good for Randy Orton. Like you're too good of a friend to be, alongside Randy Orton. So you see, like he might be like the piece that is gonna like cause this really like the feud to start. I feel that like and like you said, maybe then he's gonna incorporate in the feud with Randy Orton, so that would be cool too. But like I feel that like he's actually gonna be in Money in the Bank. There's a few spots left. Maybe something will happen. Like if Randy Orton can really be on Money in the Bank, we'll see what happens. But they're teasing something here, so that's good, because like you said, Damian Priest doesn't deserve to just be off TV. I mean, if he's really good to go, which he seemed he was, so then he needs to just like be back and then just have meaningful feuds now. He helped out Bad Bunny, all that Miz Morrison is over. Now let's start being serious. And then
did they have? Well, I mean, after can talk about the spoilers and everything. So who are the people? So from Monday Night Raw, it's Morrison, Ricochet. Who else?
For Monday Night Raw, we have Morrison, Ricochet, Riddle, and Drew McIntyre.
Okay, yeah. So then that's pretty much it then. So I don't see Damian Priest getting on unless one of those four guys somehow gets taken out, because they're not going to do 5 from Raw and 3 from SmackDown.
Yeah, but maybe like we said, one of them might be taken out. You never know. You know how WWE is. Like they have still like 2 weeks to build. So maybe like they're like, we give Priest a chance, all of that. Or a match at Money in the Bank could be Randy Orton against Damian Priest. So you never know.
We'll see. I mean, I would save something like that maybe for SummerSlam, build it up, because it's with 2 weeks of build. I don't think that would be that good of a match.
It will be good, especially exactly. But maybe that's what they could do. So we'll see. But like you said, triple threat match. For like the entry on the Money in the Bank, and that was Matt Riddle, AJ Styles, and Drew McIntyre. The match was really good though. That is a legit triple threat. They used like outside, like really big spot right there on the announcing table. That was really cool by AJ and Riddle. And Riddle right now is performing like his best work in WWE. It's goofy, yes. It might be a little bit off, but it's funny. But when he has to be in the ring, deliver good matches, always good. And that is something that I feel that like a lot of people are seeing in Matt Riddle, that he probably has this thing that like people that have gone to the main roster before don't have, that he can be actually a character, but yet still a wrestler when he's fighting.
Oh yeah, and that's what I think Vince really likes about this guy is because it's just he's so stupid and goofy, and people said like Vince sometimes he likes the weirdest stuff and the goofiest stuff, so he probably thinks he probably doesn't get Riddle. Because I mean, obviously Vince McMahon, he, when he got the rolling papers from RVD, he was like, what the like he can tell he doesn't he's just like whatever.
Watch this,
yeah. But I mean, Riddle, he's probably goofy enough that Vince at least finds him amusing, and they're pushing him. And like we always say, when the bell rings, this guy can go. And he was the star of this match. I mean, AJ's always a stud. So is Drew. You can always count on them. They're guys, like they say, you can set your watch to them. They're going to be consistent. But Riddle, to me, was really the star of this thing. He looked good. I'm going to be honest. When they took out Drew and it was just Riddle and AJ for most of the match towards the end, or until the end, rather, when Drew came back, I really thought Riddle was going to win this. I thought, okay, Riddle's going to win it. He's going to get Randy Orton that spot and Money in the Bank, and then that's when Randy's going to turn on him. Maybe Riddle's going to be climbing the ladder, and he's going to be like, look, Randy, like, hold the ladder for me. I'm going to win it, bro. And then Randy's like, fuck you, and dumps the ladder, and then RKO's him.
Yeah, it can easily happen that way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then since, then Riddle had that spot, and especially that was the thing. When he came back out, that's when it was just like, oh, okay, he's probably gonna win it. You know what I mean? It was just like,
that when they come back is to win it, but no, not in WWE right now. No.
But I mean, then pretty much big Claymore kick, 1, 2, 3, and Drew, I think, was the right guy to win it out of these three because you're not really going to do that whole Randy Orton thing just yet. I think that's a slow burn feud to have Riddle and Randy Orton split because, like you said, they just came out with the merch and everything. And I wouldn't be surprised if they become tag champs first before you do the split. To really be like, Riddle can be like, no, we're tag champs, we're buddies, he would never do this to me. You really gotta, make the swerve feel like...
Make it more dramatic.
Yeah, exactly.
Stretch it really good. So, like, you see that, like, we're really a bond, and then when you see that there's a bond, you cut it up.
Exactly. Yeah. And then with AJ, like we said earlier, he's with the Viking Raiders and everything. And, I mean, Drew, I don't think Drew will win it. But, if he does, I mean, what's he going to do?
Let's say, why? Because it's like, you just do this to give him another chance to win the WWE title? No!
I mean, he'd have to go to SmackDown, if he won it, because I don't see, now there's rumors, Goldberg is going to be going after Lashley at SummerSlam, so, you're not going to put the title on Goldberg and then Drew cashes in. No, you're not going to do that. I mean, I don't think Drew's going to win it. I think this is all, and this is fine. Because Drew's legit. Drew's their number one guy. Whether he's the champ or not, he's their guy. He's like the Miz and all those people who he goes out there. He makes all the public appearances. He does all the interviews, all that legit stuff. They need to feature him. So what are you going to do? You're not going to have him on the pay-per-view? No, you're going to put him in Money in the Bank. He's going to look legit. So, I mean, I'm fine with it, but I really don't see him winning it.
Yes. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, like, maybe Jinder Mahal can be a factor. Like, remember, like, I heard, like, reports that, like, he might play a heel and then, be this feud with Drew. Maybe have a few months till, like, they decide where really Drew has to go. Or maybe, like, build a big match with SummerSlam. Not with Mahal, but I'm just saying, like, something big for Drew McIntyre. We'll see what happens, family. But this was Monday Night Raw. So this is the review. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope, like, we were more entertaining than these 3 hours. So, please just help us out subscribing. You also give the video a like for, like, we put content all the time. And the bell for notifications so you know when we're uploading that content. Where else can they find us, Paul? Not only on YouTube, but where?
And make sure you follow us, Rope Break, on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and, of course, the home of the number one podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
So tonight, don't forget NXT. A lot of rivalries, good stuff, like a really good show. So we'll be there and also be there for us. So you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...